Hey guys, welcome to the Azura Vet Spotlight, where this week we are talking to Nicole Pogue about Nicole Pogue and what's going on here at the Azura Vets Center in Mesa, Arizona. Good to have you here, Nicole.
Thanks for producing this, Jack.
Absolutely, super excited. What are we talking about today?
We're talking about the Azura Veterans Coalition Resource Center and new wellness lounge and venue.
Awesome. Before we get started, are there any sponsors or donors we want to highlight?
Absolutely. I would first of all like to thank my parent company, Azura Cares, underneath over the umbrella of Mesa United Way, who have established this resource center 8 years ago, as well as Black Rifle Coffee Company, who has donated over 100 pounds of coffee to this facility. I am jacked up on some Black Rifle coffee right now. A little too much, maybe.
That's awesome. We do love coffee. Everybody knows veterans love coffee.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Right on. Well, what events do we have going on in the space this week?
This Saturday, we have the East Valley Women Veterans Brunch. It's held every third Saturday of the month. And we are proud to call the Wellness Lounge and venue home of the East Valley Women Veterans.
That's awesome. If you want to see what's going on at this vet center, you can go to azuravets.org and check out the calendar. But yeah, so you've got the women's group going on. What else do you have going on?
So we also in this space, we have a mindfulness center where we hold yoga, tai chi, breath work, meditation, and that is ran by local veterans or veteran allies who currently have their own organizations and they are donating their time to us for free. And we
That's pretty
also,
awesome.
yeah, it's really cool. They're really inspiring, and it's nice that they've been through it and they're using the tools and they're sharing it with other veterans and service members and families. We also have guitar and ukulele lessons. We have a whole stage back here where we're going to be doing poetry as well, veteran voices. However, you need to express your experience in the military, we have a place for you here. And many more events are coming down the pipeline.
That's really cool. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I'm excited. I worked here last Thursday and was here throughout the day, and I was able to go in and do the yoga. That was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. Just hitting up a nice moment of just catching some peace in the middle of the day really helps you focus and get things going. So
It's a good reset.
yeah, it's awesome.
Come back to the breath.
There you go. Well, cool. So those are the events that are going on this week and next week. What else is going on? There was a wellness thing on the 22nd. What's that about?
Yeah, so we have a Marine. He is running one of our yoga and meditation classes twice a week, and he's an entrepreneur. So we want to invite him to come to the space and continue to evolve in his civilian career. So he will be hosting a wellness and nutrition course, an intro to that, and discussing. Well, I wish we could shoot to him. He's here tonight,
Superfood.
supporting us. Yeah, it's about superfoods and how to identify them and how they adapt to the body and how that can help with your mental health.
Yeah, I know definitely. I went through a period where I was growing a lot of food at home. So I got into aquaponics. I was super big into that and eating vegetables and growing all my own plants in the backyard. We had fish. We were growing tilapia and
Oh,
all of that
wow.
stuff. So I was pretty excited to hear about the superfoods because I was growing kale, which I know kale is a superfood.
Kale, yeah,
I don't know what else qualifies as a superfood, so I'll have to come on the 20th to find out. But
absolutely.
yeah, no, it's super fun. And it's always cool when you get to see where your food comes from. So that's one of the reasons why I like growing my own food at home because I know what it's been through. I know what it's been exposed to.
Local is always better. Meeting the farmer, meeting the community. Absolutely.
This is not a promotion, but I'm going to be real silly and talk about a new product that I recently got. It's called the Mill. And in Phoenix, the Mill is super cool because it's a composting bin and it's like a monthly subscription. You get the thing, and what they do is you put your scraps in, and every night it grounds them up and all that good stuff, and it turns it into compost. But what's really cool about it is then once a month they come and they pick up your scraps, and they end up delivering them to local farmers. And so one of the cool things about it, not that you needed to know an eco lesson in this episode, but it helps you get it decreases methane, right? That's one of the biggest production producers of
CO2,
methane
yeah.
is the food in our trash. And so using something like the mill is a great way to get out there and reduce methane being produced. So I've been trying that. I don't know. I'll let you know how it goes. I've only had it for a couple of days, a week, and but it's been pretty fun. And my trash can is a lot lighter because it doesn't have all that food in it. So I'm excited about it.
Great job, Jack.
I know, totally random. Sorry. All right, moving on. Let's get into Nicole. What where were you when you joined the military? Where'd you join from?
I joined from Soldotna, Alaska. Well, Kenai was the recruiter center.
Alaska.
Yeah, I have family up there, had aunts, and my grandma was up there. And when I graduated high school, my dad shipped me off to live with my sister up there. He was like, "Get out of here, kid. Go do something with your life." Uh, so
Interesting. That's
it
what's
was,
up.
I graduated in 2001. So I was there for a very short time.
Okay. And what was your favorite part about Alaska?
It's the most beautiful place. It's one of those places that calls you back. Uh, the wilderness, the mountains, the water, it's captivating, it's breathtaking. And I still have family up there. And it is one of those, it was the first time I, outside of before I went overseas, it was the place that really captured my heart. Like that gave me that sense of wonder. Like what else is out there? It was beautiful. The northern lights are right on the treetops and
Wow.
we're just sitting outside of my aunt's cabin and we're on a trampoline and we're just staring. It was just gorgeous and you wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
If you're into the outdoors, Alaska's the place to be. That's for sure.
Absolutely. There's so much to do.
Yeah. Cool.
Last
So,
frontier.
right? So you joined the Navy from Alaska. What drew you to the Navy?
My dad was Navy. My grandpa was Navy. And my dad had me in recruiters' offices since I was like 15. And so when I was up there, 9/11 happened. And I was taking care of my aunt's children while she was taking care of my grandma, who was dying of breast cancer. And she kind of wanted me to join the service. So I took that as kind of like her dying wish. And my dad had primed me for it. So when that um, when that conflict began, I just felt like it was my duty. And I didn't think twice. I just went to the recruiter's office and signed up. First of all, I said, I want to jump out of airplanes. And then the rest is history.
And did you jump out of airplanes?
No, I didn't. I actually became an aviation mechanic,
Okay, so you were an AM?
AD.
Oh, you were an AD.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's structural.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
We
I
fought a lot.
The Navy was a long time ago for me, so I don't remember all the rates.
A lot of the rates have combined.
Yeah.
So
Cool. So you became an AD, and what was your first duty station?
actually, my first duty station was on the USS Mount Whitney, the Second Fleet Command ship. And I was a undesignated seaman. So straight from boot camp, we did a couple hops and then landed in the Gulf. And, we flew from a helicopter from Djibouti, Africa. And I saw this little gray thing in the water and we're on a helicopter, we're going lower and lower and lower, and this thing gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And so we land and this chick grabs my sea bag and she's like, "Welcome to hell." And I was like, "Oh boy." I had no idea what was going to happen then. I'm just super scared, because we hit a couple countries on the way in and I'm culture shocked,
Yeah.
go from Chicago to there. So it took like a day and a half to get there. And so I was an undesignated seaman and we're at war. There's conflict happening. So you're seeing all this going on. You're all of 19 years old and you've never left the country. That was wild. But I hit the ground running. And I just started getting qualifications and I got my surface warfare device as a seaman recruit, which is amazing. Apparently my captain who pinned me was like, "This is the youngest or the lowest ranking person I've ever pinned." And then I became a master helmsman. So on the way back from our deployment, I got to drive us through the Suez Canal, through the Med. It was amazing. You could throw a football across that thing. And then so I got to drive us in and out of ports. I got to drive us across the pond. And so we were stationed out of Norfolk, Virginia.
Okay, Norfolk. So you got to drive through the Suez?
Yep, I drove us through the Suez Canal.
Interesting. So I went through the Panama Canal 8 times, and
Wow.
they bring on a pilot.
Yeah, we had a pilot on there. He's
Okay,
like,
okay.
"So you have left and right rudder, right?" He's like, "Left half a rudder." I'm like, "What's half a rudder?" So on a nuclear ship, they have like these tiny little trick wheels. But I was on, and we had an Alpha Bravo boiler. We're on a
Oh
steamship.
wow.
So our helm was like this giant brass helm. And and everything on the ship was brass. We were constantly polishing. As a seaman, we were just like ship's integrity. We're cleaning, polishing.
Especially deck division.
Yeah, it was, freshwater wash down while it's raining and doing all that,
Oh yeah.
painting the ship while it's raining, all that stuff. So,
Craziness. Okay, cool. So
so watch stander.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got to strike.
Yeah. So our ship, when we pulled back in, um, I was on that command for almost 2 years. And then our ship decided to go MSC. So, kind of everyone was leaving. So I went to a school in Pensacola, Florida, and became an aviation mechanic because I fell in love with the guys who are on the flight deck, and I was like, I want to do something with the aircrafts.
Okay. So I want to back up a little bit because some of our audience won't know a lot of the words we've just said. We've been speaking Navy-ese. So
Navies.
yeah, yeah. So, every branch has its own acronyms, and we just threw out a bunch of acronyms that were not related to the other branches and definitely not to civilians. So, I said striking. Did you strike? Is that what it was? Or
Yeah,
was
and I
it
was
you got
tracking.
options for orders because you guys
Well, we got to go to a detailer and ask him,
okay,
request.
okay.
You don't always get what you want, but
Right, right, right.
I got
Well,
to do
because
that.
I don't fully understand striking because I didn't have to do it. I came in rated.
Oh,
But
right.
but when you
When you come in
strike
as undesignated, then you have to choose from there. Choose your fate. Choose your rate. Choose your fate.
and then when you do that, normally you would get time that you get to spend with them to make sure that it's right. Did you get any
So
of
that's
that
what I
time?
did. Yeah, when I was on the flight deck, I got to hang out in the gear room and see what they were doing. And
So that's like the only good part about going on Des, I would say. Someone who didn't do it, but from the outside looking in, they got to go in and they got to go do a taste of the job that they wanted to do, and it
yeah,
sounded
as
like a
as a
good
deck
thing.
seaman, I mean, I got to rove through all of the rates.
Cool.
You had to go into all the spaces, and I knew more about that ship than anybody, right?
Yeah,
Or my division did.
Deck always does.
Yeah, and especially when you're going after your warfare device, you have to know everything, not just what you're physically working on, but what's in land, sea, and air.
Yeah, cool. Right on. So okay, so you struck AD. You got to go to A school. Where's A school?
Pensacola.
Pensacola, of course.
And I wasn't there very long before a hurricane came. So I got to do hurricane cleanup. So I stayed there longer than planned. It destroyed the base, and that was terrible. So we had to do like this makeshift school. And then I was in school with the Marines. So they were working on like Harriers, and we're over here learning everything else. And it
What
was
platform were you training for?
P3 Charlie Orions.
Okay,
Yeah. Anti-submarine warfare.
cool.
Yeah.
They're collectors, right? P3s are collectors.
Well, they're still flying around.
Yeah. Yeah,
They're
exactly.
still they're still going on missions.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So you did P3s down in Pensacola and then
So after the hurricane cleanup, I was supposed to go back to Virginia, but I requested a different change of command or a different, I wanted a change. I wanted to get off the East Coast.
Mhm.
So they've put me in Washington State, where I'm from, and I didn't expect that. So I was moved to Whidbey Island, Washington, and there's Oak Harbor. It was beautiful up there. And as soon as I got back there, I wasn't there for very long. And then we went on another deployment. So I got to go on my second deployment within my 4 year career. And we went to Japan, detached to Guam a little bit. And, another sister squadron came up from Hawaii. We came from Washington. So I was in Misawa and then detached to Okinawa for a little bit, got to spend some time in Guam. And the cool thing is I was on the same airfield in Pensacola that my dad was at.
cool.
And then when I went to Guam, same thing. I got to go there too. And he was submarine warfare. He was a spook or, radio man. And it was just kind of cool that our worlds just kind of came full circle like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I never got to be stationed at any of the places my brother was at, but that was one thing. We both joined the Navy first, and then we both pivoted to other branches afterwards.
Oh, wow.
So I was in the Navy for 6 years, got out, and then joined the Army. He was in the Navy for I think 8 years, and then he did the blue to gold or whatever. I don't know. He became a pilot for the Air Force. So he switched over and flew C-130s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a little bigger platform than I was working on.
A little bigger than a P3. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, super cool. So cool. So then what happened next?
Well, tragedy, I guess. I was, I am a survivor of military sexual trauma, and within my command, after that happened, when I was on deployment in Japan, I got my air warfare device, so I'm dual qualified, and I just felt like I was shit hot, which is a term in the service, and I was getting all these qualifications, and I was doing things above my pay grade, and I really felt like this was going to be my career. I wanted to go become an officer, and um, I got my Master Chief's anchors when he retired. I was in his retirement ceremony, and that's a huge honor. So when I was shaking his hand, he had me folding the flag and everything. And then he opens his hand, and there's like a line of people shaking his hand, and he's like, "Whether you stay in or get out, you deserve these." And waterworks and everything. And it was really hard to leave, but my command was not sensitive to what happened to me, and it was really hard to sign those papers and leave. Like I went all the way up 4 years in a day, and then I left. And it was pretty terrible. So I went into the trades. My brothers are iron workers. I come from a family of tradespeople. So I just did a lateral shift. I got out and I went to Seattle, Bellevue area, and I started doing some iron working. Then I became a millwright or pipe fitter, then a millwright. I was joining the apprenticeships. And when I became a millwright, I landed at the LIGO Pacific National Lab in Eastern Washington. And the physics there, creating the laser interferometer gravitational wave observatory, like moving the chambers. It was so cool. I fell in love with the science of it and I was captivated. So right across the street was the WSU Tri-Cities extension of their main campus. And I was like, I'm going to go use my GI Bill and get out of this, knuckle dragging rat race. No offense, bros, but it wasn't for me.
Sure.
And then when I went to college, I became like woke. I started reading all these books and hanging out with other veterans. I hadn't been a veteran yet. I hadn't been with those groups. And my PTSD started to surface. And then childhood trauma started to surface. And I kind of lost my way for a long time, over a decade. And the VA found me and started throwing me around, putting me on medications and all those things. So I went through that whole rigmarole. And up until about 4 years ago, I was lost in that. And then I found one place that changed my life. And I got off all medications and found holistic modalities such as yoga, Tai Chi, breath work, acupuncture, you know, um, everything to calm the nervous system that doesn't involve medication, you know. Uh, and now I want to give that gift to people who are unaware of it and find them sooner so they don't have to struggle as long as I did, feel as lost as I did. And I was suicidal for a really long time. My family was really scared. I was really scared. And that scary, scary place, I don't want anyone to ever have to feel like that. It's torture on the mind, it's torture on the family, and it's systemic, throughout the military. So yeah, my mission here is just to give back what was given to me.
That's awesome. So there's all of these events, there's all of these things happening. There's a space, it's the lounge, right? We're sitting in the lounge here right now. But what you're really doing is creating community, right?
Absolutely. Awareness.
Yeah.
Awareness of these resources, awareness of these other modalities, awareness that there are other veterans who have suffered and recovered. We recalibrate, we rise, we overcome. We don't just adapt and white knuckle through things like we were taught, like you had to continue the mission, right? This is different. This is getting underneath that. Below the surface, there are wounds that are generational, and it's not your fault.
Yeah.
And you're not alone, and we can recover. We can get better. There is another side, this unseen world. I'm I had a friend tell me recently, she's like, she goes, I love how, excited you get about things. And I was like, well, for a really long time, I didn't have any kind of view on the world that was positive. So when I do see things and I get to enter spaces that I never thought I would walk in, like I get to walk into spaces I never thought I would be in. And I was in trouble a lot. And now I get to be in there. I'm just inspired and motivated and captivated and finding parts of me that I didn't know existed. And so I want to capitalize on that. I write a lot. I want to express myself a lot. I don't always do it very well. Like right now, my voice is shaking, my hands are sweaty, and um, but I have to get it out because there's so much in here that's positive that feels so good. I feel like I'm gonna erupt. And I talk a lot. I go really fast. My dad's always telling me to slow down. Um, easy does it, but do it. And, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. And when you're on those rough seas, if you can just come back to your systems, creating those systems, using your tools, like right now, I got an ice pack. It's like something that helps keep me grounded. It's a tool that I've learned to use. And that helps me come back to my breath, helps me come back to my center, my why, my focus. What is the objective right now? What is my objective here? And that is to bring awareness, to bring other organizations into this space, to share things I yet do not know, to help me develop further, help families, help the caregivers, help the veterans, help everyone that wants to walk in that door. Everybody's welcome
Yeah.
because we never know who we're going to help with our story. We just never know.
Yep. My wife always says, say the quiet part out loud. And, this is the kind of thing where you can speak up and talk about different things, right? Veterans can talk about the issues that impact them. You talked about military sexual trauma today. Like, that's not something that a lot of people are willing to speak out about. And it needs to be spoken out about because it's a problem. And we have to get resources to people and we have to prevent it.
We just have to have a safe place to allow people to walk into. They have to be honored for their service and know that there is no shame in what happened to you. That is the other person's part. That's not yours. And there is a life after that. You are strong. If you're listening to this, you're still here. And I commend you for it. You're brave. You matter. You're worth it. You are enough just as you are. Whatever you have inside of you is unique to you. And to share it with other people, you're the only one that gets to do that, that beauty of you. You need to share that. So, let's just show up as authentically as we can, as our truest forms of ourselves. Raw, true, open, honest, real, scary, messy. It's all the things.
Yeah.
Because I know you've had loss in your life. We've all lost somebody. We've all been close to something tragic. And here we are sharing. You have a podcast, Veteran Voices, right?
Veteran Stories podcast.
Veteran Stories podcast. Hashtag. Yeah, so I think that's amazing. I want to follow suit with people that are in your space doing that just because this helps me. This helps me, gives me a purpose when I wake up in the morning. I'm like, okay. First thing I do is I find gratitude in the morning every day. I have something to be grateful for. I have so many things to be grateful for. I'm alive. Shit. I did not think I would survive most of my life.
Yeah.
And then the struggle to overcome the awareness, once I became aware of what I was struggling with. So once you get diagnosed with all of these things that the VA wants to diagnose you with, it's really confusing. I didn't feel that way inside. I felt really small after my diagnosis of, PTSD, and they want to give me all these other claims that I don't identify with. And today I identify as a person with post-traumatic growth, not post-traumatic stress. I see my PTS differently now. I'm stronger for it, and I am separate from it. It's a part of me, but it's not who I am. I'm on the other side, and I've risen from that. And it comes in waves. It comes back. I don't always respond appropriately to a situation, but I'm learning, and I rise faster every single time. I've fallen 9 times and I've risen 10. And that means I have been institutionalized. But here I am, away from all that, with a strong support system, a strong self-aware, super self-aware. And I can apologize today for my mistakes. I can own my part in things, and I don't have to blame people or anything anymore. I get to take responsibility for my life today.
That's good. Well, that's one of the things that we love about the center, right? Is that it brings together all these resources. It's one place that you can go to and you can see these resources. If you don't know what you need, if you don't know what you're looking for, you can come to the center and they can help point you in the right direction. So definitely love that. Really appreciate the resources that are here. And I did want to mention, because I think we forgot to mention it earlier, today and tomorrow, there's the Arizona Veterans Stand Down.
Yeah, Maricopa. It's at the Phoenix Fairgrounds. It's the largest stand down of the year. And I had volunteers today. I have one in here today. She's going to be helping out tomorrow. Uh, Huge. If you need anything, if you're homeless or if you're unhoused or if you're facing anything like that, if you want to get your veteran benefits, there we have those people here as well. I mean, anything that you're in need of or anything you're interested in learning, that everybody who's has veteran in their name is down there. Great people, large venue, tons of food and opportunity to meet like-minded folk.
Yeah. So go check it out, right? It's the
Maricopa County stand down.
Maricopa County Veterans Stand Down. So super cool opportunity. They I watched their advert for it before the show, and they were talking about, it's mostly geared towards people who have a financial impact and who are looking for some assistance there. But any veteran, anybody with veteran in their name, any association there is welcome and celebrated and honored. So
Absolutely. And we host events like that here at the center. We'll do small little job fairs and networking events to bring in all those other resources so the veterans in the East Valley can get their hands on that. It's really difficult for people facing that kind of strife to traverse down there, especially when they come in here to get resources. We have to go through a whole referral process through some unfortunate places for them to have to return to come back here before we can give them the assistance they need. And so what I'm trying to do here is do more direct services. But first we need to get funded to do that. So we have to send them to places that are currently getting funded. So what the impact that I hope to have here at the Wellness Lounge and venue is to bring in the organizations that can bring awareness to the resource center here in the East Valley. It's the only place that you can physically walk into and get a tailored, comprehensive case management, trauma-informed care. All of our staff is trauma-informed care certified, and we'll meet you where you are. And we want to hear your story. We want to help you out. And we're not just going to pass the buck. We know who's got what and where you can go. And I'm here late. I'm here every day. And I just want to let you know that I've been there, and I'm going to do everything I can to bring in as many entities here as possible to make sure that people aren't flying all over the state trying to find something that they need.
yeah,
And also to have fun, because I haven't had a lot of fun in my life since the military. And it's learning how to do that all over again, finding what I do like. Let's start implementing things here and just learning how to grow together.
absolutely. So the lounge is a veteran community space. You can book it.
Yes, you can book the venue. So we're open 8 to 4. We're in the suite right next to the resource center. And the idea is when you walk in, you get met with Black Rifle coffee. And then we have pastries. It's donation based. You just come in, open the fridge, grab anything that's cold, grab something warm, and then come sit down and have some camaraderie, some connection with your fellow veterans. And it's not, it's a safe space. There's no alcohol here. We're not in American Legion or VFW, even though they are huge supporters of veterans and they run many fundraisers and they're so helpful. But if you need a place that, and if you have comorbidities, you have mental health and you have addiction issues, just know that you're safe here and we don't allow that. We have NA groups, AA groups, PTSD support groups, MST groups, and then we also have all of these fun things happening in the evenings. So during the day, we have the mindfulness center open for yoga, tai chi, breathwork, meditation. All those things are happening in tandem with this open coffee collaborative center. And then we also want to bring workshops in here, seminars to raise education awareness to family members and what it's like to enable the veteran. Like allowing them to rise on their own, not, and taking care of yourself, having the caretakers take care of themselves and where they can go for their own support and benefits as well. And then using the stage for expression to use your voice. For a long time, I didn't have a voice. And now that I have one, boy, is big. And I'm trying to like figure out how to fine tune it, but I have one.
Absolutely.
And so do you. And I want you to come share it with us.
And this show will be a part of that voice, right? Because we'll be doing this weekly.
We'll be doing this every week, and we'll be hosting, celebrity veterans, veterans like myself who are just trying to show up in the world and do good work, veterans who want to give back what they've learned through their, you know, even if they hadn't struggled and they want to give back with what they've gained in the world. I think it's amazing the people that have walked through the door that said, "How can I help?" And they just want to volunteer. And I said, "Well, I don't know what I can have you do to volunteer." So once we built this space, there's so many opportunities to volunteer. If you have a skill set that you would like to share that maybe you can do some fundamental work with some people, that would be amazing.
Our guys in the back are telling us we've lost connection. I do want to let them know that that doesn't mean that we're offline. Can we confirm that we're offline or online? I think we're still online. Wave your hand. We're good. We're still on, guys. So thanks so much for tuning in this week. We're excited to bring these shows to you each week. One of the things I wanted to point out was we do have volunteer opportunities at the center, but we also have some work study positions. So if you've got anyone who is enrolled at least 3/4 time, right?
Yes.
At least 3/4 time at a university, or you'll have
Or
to
if
find out if you're
or if you're, yeah, Voc Rehab, you can also apply here.
Yeah, so there's some different qualifications, but if you're eligible to be a work study, we've got some positions here where we'd love some help.
Absolutely. Please. And if you want to volunteer, we got free t-shirts. Many, I want to create a coalition of volunteers. This organization is going to grow and grow, and we're going to be able to support the entire East Valley and through Maricopa County.
So the last note to hit here, guys, is azuravets.org/give. We can't do any of this without your donations, without your support. So we'd really appreciate if you'd head over to azuravets.org/give.
Absolutely.
All right. Do we have anything else we want to hit before we say goodbye?
Yeah. Love yourself. And know that you can do this. You can rise. You can recover. You can recalibrate. You have it within you. You're worthy. You're worth it. You're enough. And you belong here. So it's a slow clap, but you can celebrate yourself today. And if you haven't heard it today, I love you. I appreciate you. And we honor you. Thank you for your service.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys next week with another episode. Until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Jack.
All right. Thanks.